Hello, everybody. It's meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. This is a live update right now, updating and answering your questions about this wild weather forecast as we begin the month of April. No fooling. April 1st begins with a chance of snow that increases into your Wednesday. Details are coming up next. But first, a quick message. Robert Gibb & Sons want to tip their cap to first responders with up to $400 off the installation of a new system. Please give Robert Gibb & Sons a call today. If you have any questions, they can answer them for you. Let them know that Hutch sent you. And now let's get talking about what's going on our forecast. We'll start first with a look at the watches and warnings as issued by the National Weather Service. There are no warnings yet, but we do have winter weather advisories in the blue counties here for west central and southwestern Minnesota and parts of northeast South Dakota. All of these yellow counties that go all the way out into Wisconsin, most of southern North Dakota, it does now stretch all the way out through Morton County. So Bismarck, McLean County, Underwood and Washburn areas, right out to the Red River Valley. This watch does not include Grand Forks. And I did have a couple of questions earlier. They were like, Hutch, is there a chance this storm could shift north or south? The answer is yes. But let's get into it more. Hi, Hutch, says Jeremy, good to have you. How hard will Fargo get hit? It's looking like a decent chance that Fargo sees very significant snow. But I want to take this opportunity to talk to all of you right now because there are a few things that I would really love to clear up. I have been working in this job for the better part of 30 years and trying to make sure that we have a communication that makes sense to you is super duper important to me. It helps me do a more accurate job of my weather if what I'm communicating is getting across. Now, let's talk first about snow forecasts. Number one, winter storm watch is in place. That just means the ingredients are here for winter storm conditions. Could it shift? Yes. Have you ever seen that happen? I know I have. So again, if you have a question about this whole forecast thing, let me go right to a look at my forecast graphics right now. Now, as we go through your day tomorrow on Tuesday, on the 1st of the month of April, we'll have areas of snow that'll be light in the morning, but it will start increasing as we go off to the east. Now, west rather. So we'll have storm conditions beginning in round 1 in the morning. And I'll show you the hour by hour forecast here in just a second. But as we go through the morning and afternoon hours, we'll have some rain showers out in the eastern part of the state and out in Minnesota here and there. We'll have some snow and it could begin to be heavy in places. It'll be breezy too, but this is just the onset. The main storm system really arrives late in the evening hours. Now, I've been showing some different forecast models and some of you have commented on a few of my updates here saying, I'm seeing different information on different places and what do I believe? Well, to put it simply, a forecast is a forecast, and if you have a room full of meteorologists, you're going to get a room full of different answers or solutions. So that can be the case. But forecast models, and many of us meteorologists are agreeing that this looks to be like a more impactful system here to the northern plains. So please ask questions. I want to make sure that you're understanding where I'm coming from and what these numbers mean. So this is the expected snowfall amount. This is a product from the National Weather Service Forecast Office, but it gives us an idea. What I've done is I've added ranges on here. And many of us meteorologists may put slightly different numbers on these. That's okay. We may shift it north or south. That's okay too. But let's talk about what Hutch has going on here and any questions you have. Number one, in the yellow areas is where I'm expecting 4 to 10 inches of snow. Isolated places will see more than that. When this storm is done, there's going to be some foot burgers laid down across the region. Now, another thing to keep in mind is there is a very, very good bet, almost a 100% chance bet that you're going to see the lower end of this range that I put on here. I make a wide berth forecast for a reason, I should say. There is a very good chance you're going to see 4 inches of snow in any of these bright yellow areas. And there's an outside chance that you could see upwards of 10 inches of snow in these yellow areas. And here's why. When it comes to precipitation events, it's just not common to see widespread 10 inches of snow everywhere in the yellow areas. It's more dynamic than that. In the clouds, some clouds produce bigger snowflakes, faster moving snowflakes that pile up. Sometimes there's terrain features in different areas like Botno, like the Sisseton Hills, like the Iron Range has enhanced elevation by darn near over 1,000 feet. above some of the other reaches in parts of northwest Minnesota. These terrain features can really draw out some deals. So now I'm going to show you the latest forecast model. Ethan, good to have you on board. Hey, Hutch, how much snow is Fargo, Moorhead, Dilworth area getting? 4 to 10, a very good bet at 4 inches. However, in this area, we'll see some spots that get upwards of 10 inches. Here's another thing to think about. Have you ever been outside and driven across Fargo? Fargo is a big town. The distance from north to south across the community and east to west across West Fargo all the way out to Dilworth and Glendon is a long, long ways. Now, we have the official snowfall measurement that comes from the site that measures it all the time, okay? That's the official measurement. But not all of us live at that spot, okay? And it's totally often that it happens where on the west side of town you get more than that reading, or on the east side of town you get less than that reading, and on the south side of town you get nothing, right? Have you ever seen it rain across our entire area and one side of town gets an inch and the other side of town gets maybe 1/100th or 2/100ths of an inch or nothing at all? Precipitation is very fickle when it comes to these kind of things. So it's one of the more difficult things to communicate in the forecast. So there is a good bet of 4 inches in Fargo, in Dilworth, and Fergus Falls. There's a good bet at 4 inches in Detroit Lakes, Park Rapids, Bemidji, 4 to 10 as well. The 10 that we're talking about here is a few areas are going to see that 10-inch amount. What time will it start in Detroit Lakes? We're going to talk about that timing. Cindy, thank you for your question. I do appreciate you checking in. And let's see. Brenda, thank you. Rebecca, watching from Candu. Good to have Towner County on board. Now, are you going to get missed? Check this out. Do you see this orange color here? It's kind of like, I don't know, orange. 2 to 7 inches in that. That means you can bank on a very, very good chance that most of the area that's covered in orange will see 2 inches of snow. But some in this area will ramp up towards 7 inches of snow as we kind of mingle in with this. So that's how Hutch is blending these regimes or aerial coverages of the snow together. The red areas, okay, we're going to see a trace to around 3 inches. We're going to go up from a trace to 3 inches very quickly on the edge of this particular storm system. It looks like Minneapolis will be out. The latest models are just coming in now. They're calculating, and I've got those for you now. Ethan, well, I think we will get 6 to 10 inches of snow. Thanks for your update there, Ethan. It makes a difference. Northern Grace, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you checking out Hutch's weather. Tony says, how about Wheaton, Minnesota? Now, Wheaton, you look at this area right down here. And if you get into that Wilkin County area, Traverse County, I think this area is going to have a good chance at being hard hit. What are the latest models saying? Let's get right to it. Now, I'm going to take you to some fun in the sun right now because today it looked fantastic outside. This is one forecast model called the HRRR. It's a rapid refresh model and it's high resolution. And this puppy runs every hour. There are pluses and minuses to these, but what we're seeing here is snowfall accumulation. When it starts accumulating, when it ends accumulating. So as we go into the forecast period that's shown here, let me go back to the beginning, Shazam. By the time we get to 10 a.m. on your Tuesday, we will already have some minimal accumulations down here, out near Aberdeen and Jamestown in the James River Valley. So if we click in and go ahead and zoom on over to this vicinity, what are these values? So in and around Aberdeen, this particular model says we could already have upwards of 4 inches of snow. Watertown, Sisseton, upwards of 3 inches of snow. We could also see a few flakes beginning to fly in Fargo, Hope, all the way out towards you folks in the Harvey area in Wells County. So again, Bismarck, yes, you have a chance at seeing some snow already by 10 a.m. on your Tuesday. This is not the main event, and it will continue as we go through the day. So Tuesday, we will be getting snow out in the western and central Dakotas, and we could even see some rain showers for some of us here in the valley. Not always all falling as snow. Now, as we go through the afternoon, you just start to see some highlight colors coming into your evening. Hutch has been saying it's a good idea. The heavier aspects of this snow system are going to be beginning as we go between 6 o'clock at night and 10 at night. It depends on where you live. Now, if you're up north, you can be out in a boat and going to get your milk and cheese and honey biscuits and all that stuff that you need to get yourself through this storm. That's all good. How much liquid? Let's talk about that, Gary Johnson. It's a very good question. We'll try to get to that. We don't need snow in Towner County. Thanks anyways. All requests come in on Thursday. It's all requests Thursdays, not Mondays. I can't do requests on Mondays. All right. The snow system, by the time we get to the evening, will have travel impacts in some areas by this time. The model is saying some areas could have as many as 3 to 7 inches of snow on the ground by the time we get to 7 o'clock at night. The best chance of that, good old Lisbon. On a go down here in the Cheyenne River Valley and look down south towards maybe near Gwinner. Also, Oaks seeing a good chance at some snow on this model. Now, this could shift yet a little bit, but it is showing that we could have some potentially significant snow developing in the southern part of southeast North Dakota. Woo-wee! Here we go, folks. Lakes country. You're just getting started as you're heading home from work, and at 7 o'clock at night, we could just be seeing a few tenths of an inch to an inch to 2 inches in a few places. Now, up north, not yet. So if you're in Towner County here, and let's say you want to head to Rock Lake, you got bowling on in Rock Lake. If you're heading to bowling in Rock Lake, it looks like maybe a trace of snow for you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your questions. Ethan, thank you. I'm shocked we're getting snow in April already. Yeah, it looks like it. It's a shocking thing. Now, this just gets us to morning. This storm system will be peaking in and around the Fargo area, but look at what this model has. This has not shown up yet. And this is the northern part of Minnesota getting shellacked on this particular model. Now, this particular model is the latest model run of the HRRR. It does a decent job, but it's not always the solution Hutch believes in. I just wanted to show you, for you folks in the Northern Valley, even though you're not in the watch yet, we're still uncertain about all of these things. And this storm comes with wind. So the difference between a blizzard and a winter storm, all very critical in this forecast. And we're still not certain with regards to when the heaviest snow and wind will hit in the same areas. Because for a blizzard, we're very picky about when a blizzard warning is issued. The National Weather Service does the issuing of these, not Hutch Johnson. But I can tell you this. What the definition of a blizzard is you need that zero visibility caused by falling snow or blowing snow with winds to around 35 miles per hour, and it needs to last for 3 hours. Okay, so if we get a quick shot of blinding snow, that can happen. That's not by definition a blizzard. Yes, it's blinding. It can be extremely dangerous, and that is something that you may have only heard in recent times here in the Northern Plains as a snow squall. And they had some of those today in the state of Wyoming as this same storm system has taken hold and begun there. All right, here, let's take a look. No winds, please. There are winds with this storm. So this forecast model, by the time we get to Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock, is dumping heavier snow up along the Highway 11 corridor, much of Walsh County, Carlstead, Thief River Falls. It looks like you folks could be in for some significant snow on this model run. Does Hutch believe it? Let's take a look. Let's go to the hour-by-hour forecast, but we're going to look at a couple of different models because, folks, I'm telling you, they literally are just now coming in. So let's take a look at what we have going on, and we already looked at the HRRR. Now let's take a look at the first little bit of this model run, and this has been a good one. This one did pretty good in the last storm system. Again, the last storm system, I got punched in the gut a couple times. People saying that, well, you blew the last storm system. No, if you're watching, I said Friday's storm, which hit the northern part of the valley and Canada, I said that would miss most of us. And then the Saturday night to Sunday storm, I said looked like it would impact south of Fargo, and we'd see very little impact. That's true. It just depends on where you live and where you're traveling. It's still important to our region, and that is why I let you know. We have a significant storm that is going to move through here. There will be places that get over 8 inches of snow, and maybe even a few places that even get over a foot of snow. This model shows things are getting started here as we head into your 5 a.m. time frame on Tuesday morning. This is a band of pretty intense snow, and there's some wind from the south with this. Notice some rain on the leading edge of this system. Now, this model says it's coming right into Fargo's kitchen by the time we get to before noon. Okay, we're talking 11 to 12 a.m. And that's the first punch from this storm. And it shifts and moves off to the north. The last few models have shown this. Here's the main event, though. It begins in the evening on Tuesday. So as we take this to 2,500 hours, not a thing, but it is a thing because that's 2,000 hours here. And that means it's 8 p.m. By 8 p.m., snow. This is the heavy main event. This is where we could hear rumbles of thunder. Down south, there could be some narrow bands of sleet or freezing rain with this storm system. And this storm system here, and this particular model has it in the south with nil up north. And it stays that way. There's a little bit getting lobbed up there as we go into your Wednesday daybreak time frame. But it's not the heavy band. The heavy band is co-located with this low pressure center right here. And look at that. Very heavy, rapidly accumulating snow. We're talking Dickey County, Lemoore County, and for you folks in Sargent County, Ransom County, and Richland County, it's game on. And this model says that right here near northeast South Dakota, look at this rate of snowfall here. When you see that color pink, that indicates 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour. So how long do we see these pinks on the radar display? Let's take a look at that real quickly. There's 1 3 hour time, 1 2 3 4 hours, 5 hours. Okay, so in this vicinity for 3 to 5 hours, we could get 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour. That could already be in a couple of places, upwards of 6 inches of wet, heavy snow. Now, wet, heavy snow compresses very quickly. Wet, heavy snow doesn't add up as fast as fluffy snow does. It usually doesn't blow around as much. But will there be wind? You look at these isobars and tell me. The low pressure center right here, not as much wind here, but where you see these isobars mighty close together, look at where this is. You're looking at Fergus Falls. You're looking at Otter Tail County and Becker County and Fargo-Moorhead, and very strong isobars through the southern part of the valley. We will have gusty winds up north to the tune of 20 to 30 miles per hour. But down here, I think we'll see 40 mile per hour or in excess winds. So yikes, Bruce says, what you thinking for Otter Tail County? Ethan, good to have you on board again. Will there be any school cancellations? I would bet that there could be some cancellations of activities of any kind as we go from Tuesday night late and into Wednesday morning. Here we go. It's still snowing, and this is noon on Wednesday. Very heavy, as a matter of fact. Look at another band of enhanced snowfall up on the North Shore, all the way from, let's say, Ellendale, and all the way from Valley City and Fargo, right through Lakes Country, and on to the North Shore, up there near the UP even. Now, the storm system starts moving through. If you're in Minneapolis, this model says you ain't got much to worry about. What does this model say for snowfall accumulation? Oh, I'm not doing this to confuse you, by the way. I'm just trying to show you that each one of these computer-generated models are running through millions of calculations at every one of these data points here to come up with this forecast. And they all arrive at them by different estimations of what must be happening in between these places. So because of that, we can see this model is pasting a foot of snow in some areas. Is this going to happen? I think this is too robust, but could it happen for a few areas? Yes. So I think we may see upwards of 1 foot of snow in parts of southeast North Dakota, in parts of Lakes Country, and I am almost certain we'll see even more on the North Shore. Tom Frost says, send it to Monaga. Our lake is very low. Indeed, we have some areas out here that have low amounts. So somebody asked, and I will deliver right now, how much water content is in this? What's the moisture? Well, when we melt down the snow, or if you get just rain, this is the moisture content of what we can expect according to this model. Again, the actual location of this heaviest band of moisture could shift. And it's not likely that this entire area is going to see 2 inches of liquid equivalent moisture, but it could be darn close. There is very serious drought out in western North Dakota. That will continue. As we take a look, they're not going to see much in the way of significant or appreciable moisture, according to this model. But the last model we just showed you, the HRRRR, now let's take a look at that puppy. For moisture, it did throw a little bit more up north, right? So what this means is, as a rule, this low pressure system or storm, it is a mid-latitude cyclone or storm, is going to bring moisture up into our area, and we should get enough appreciable moisture from the clouds whether it's rain or snow, that if we melt it all down, we're going to get between 1 and up to around 2 inches of liquid equivalent moisture. Now, there is significant drought in central parts of Minnesota, whether you're talking Monaga, Tom, or if you're heading down here into Otter Tail County, Becker County. Look at this, Douglas County getting a good fair shot out there for you folks out in the Alex area. And a few rain showers or rumbles of thunder could enhance the moisture amounts out to the west. Hope that answers your question with regards to that. Lakes country needs a lot of precipitation, says Corey. Thank you very much, Terry, for your compliments. Let's see if we have any questions at all, because there's been a lot of comments on here. Oh boy, we're talking more than I can read. So thanks for sharing stars to all of you. And I will say thank you. Pat yourself on the back. Hutch's Facebook page should reach another milestone tonight. 61,000 followers, 61,000 followers. I am applauding you. Thank you for taking the time to click the follow button on my Facebook page, because it does mean a lot. Wendy, thank you very much. I know there's a lot of people who don't want this. Hi from Park Rapids. Good to have you on board. Sarah, what's the forecast for Park Rapids? Wet weather, white weather, all the way from the evening hours of Tuesday. Particularly, that's when it gets heavy, and on into Wednesday. So why don't we have warnings yet? We know it's a wet storm. I believe we should know a lot more about this storm system once we get into the day tomorrow. Why? Let's look at the radar, and let me show you where this storm is right now. It hasn't even crossed the Rocky Mountains yet. So here we go. We'll look at this together, and you'll get a chance to see here as we look at the national picture. Now, thanks for watching across the nation. It's been a wild night of weather out on the East Coast, and now we have heavy rain and thunderstorms and wind blasting its way through New York City, Long Island, all the way down to Baltimore and down towards Virginia Beach. Some of these thunderstorms are containing heavy rain, and that heavy rain is making its way off of the Cape Cod area as well. Now let's go back out to the Central Plains and look what's going on in the Rocky Mountains. It's a smattering of snow showers, and here is the first signs that this storm system is beginning to work its way over the Rocky Mountains. So now as we take a look, let's see if I can plot on some surface isobars here. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Shazam, boom. Okay. So now what we've got here is an area of lowering pressure here in the Rocky Mountains, but the main event is not even over the Rocky Mountains yet. So it's just beginning, and it's causing some heavy showers of rain in parts of South Dakota right now. Okay, it dumped some serious snow out in the mountains of California, and we've had some potential for snow, and the potential exists for some significant snow in the Rocky Mountains out to the west. What do you say? I'll show you. We do have winter storm warnings in parts of Montana, those western Rockies from Bozeman, just off to the west of you folks in Livingston, and all the way out toward the West Yellowstone area on the Montana side of the border. Now, if you get down into Wyoming, it's more of a winter weather advisory there for lower amounts of snow. Bring it, says Bill. Thank you very much. What about Kitson County? All right, we have a winter storm watch, but not for your county yet. A couple of models are starting to show signs that there may be more of an impact to the north. Okay, so this storm system is just now getting going as we take a look at that latest radar, and it's just now fixing to cross the Rocky Mountains. It's a broad area of low pressure from Grand Junction and just south of Salt Lake City right into Colorado Springs, and it's just starting to form. It has upslope flow up in towards Scottsbluff, Nebraska, and Cheyenne, Wyoming down there. And as we take a look at this area, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning right now, a severe thunderstorm warning for Kimball right on the I-80 corridor. Here's I-76 right out of Denver towards Julesburg, and there is a severe thunderstorm there capable of some significant hail. So this storm system, again, just now getting over the border, just now of the Rockies, and that's going to be huge. Where does it set up? How strong does it get? And what moisture does it have available with it as it makes its way through? So our models will have a more clear idea as we go through the next 24 hours. We need gentle moisture. Yeah, a 3-day rain would be a great idea. Thanks, Brenda, for your 2 cents on that. Thanks, Kathy. I appreciate each and every one of you that tag friends in my videos. And Kathy, put in an highlight if there's a part of this video that you like and you think someone might want to see. That's a great way to do it. So that's what we got. We've got more rain requests here. Watching from St. Hilaire, Brenda says. Wow, indeed, wow. Greg says, how much for Fargo? I missed it. Got you, Greg. I got you covered. Don't go nowhere. We'll go over this one more time. Paige says, hi from Detroit Lakes. Good to have you on board. Thanks for watching, Clarine. And what do you think? How long do you think the snow will stay? All right. It's a wonderful question. If in your area, I'm not going to just talk about Fargo because Hutch isn't just about Fargo. We have a big area here, and I hope a lot of you are watching me from the Twin Cities area or Duluth or up north near Bemidji and Lake of the Woods. I hope you're watching me out in Bismarck, Minot, and Montana, where I grew up. All right, I got to tell you what, if you get more than, say, 4 inches of snow, even if it's the wet, heavy variety, it will melt fairly quickly. But I do want to say this. Hutch's 7-day is different than what you're going to see on other stations as well. And I hope I can explain to you why. Why does Hutch have an 18 and a 13? You don't see this on other folks' 7-day forecast. Why? It's my opinion that Fargo is going to get more snow than we were thinking. And I have had the 13 on my 7-day for a few days. I thought we had a better chance with this system of seeing measurable snow over 4 inches in Fargo. Because of that, I think that our morning temperatures are going to be much colder as this storm exits and the clouds decrease. So particularly by the time we get to Thursday morning and Friday morning, it's going to be enough snow to allow us to cool off fairly quickly as we go through the overnight hours. Snow, well, it's just an effective cooler, number one, and it can dry the air out a little bit, believe it or not. And if the snow dries the air out, then our temperatures can drop even lower. So I do think some teens are in order for Fargo, Moorhead, or your neck of the woods if you get, say, more than 4 inches of snow this time of year. And if you get 6, 8, or 12, this could last for a few days. And if we have lows that are in the teens, our highs will struggle to get above too much warmth because a lot of that sunlight gets reflected back to space by the snow on the ground. Yes, it will melt, but it could take a few days. Just ask those folks along the international border with the storm system from last Friday. There was still some snow on the ground up there, even in some areas today. Let's see if it's still showing up on that visible satellite loop out here. So in answer to your question, if you get more than 4 or 5 inches of snow, I give it at least 2 to 3 days. We can't really see the good visible stuff from earlier today on my loop here. I'm moving my banner around, but should have looked at this a little bit earlier today. I did, and there was snow still on the ground up near the international border from Friday's event. Braden says, Hutch, I push snow. How much do you think Fargo's going to honestly get? Let's go right back to Hutch's forecast, okay? So I showed you, hey, here is a look at the National Weather Service. I think we have a great bet at 4 inches. I think we have a shot at more than that, as many as 10 inches of snow right here near Fargo Moorhead. Now, this is the low end forecast because the National Weather Service has a product that says, you know, what if this system gets dried out a little bit? We could get as little as 2 to maybe 5 inches in the Fargo area. Good bet for 2, but maybe as many as 5. And that's on the lower end of the range. And even in the bullseye of the storm from southeast North Dakota, where we were showing you amounts that were challenging 1 foot of snow, there's still a very, very good bet at 4 inches of snow in those areas on up to 9. So this definitely shrinks the aerial coverage a little bit and reduces the amount by a significant percentage. The chances of that happening on the lower end is only about 10%. And that's just about the same as this being on the high end. The high end shows we have some pink spots here. We're talking 15 inches or more of snow in those areas. Do I think that's going to happen? It's not likely. Only about a 10% chance. But what does that mean? That really means about 10% of the area could get upwards of a foot to 15 inches of snow. So I hope that helps communicate this. On the high side, Fargo could see a pretty good bet if this storm really blossoms of 8 inches of heavy wet snow on up to a foot. Anywhere that you see this yellow shade, 8 to 12, 8 to 12, 8 to 12, 8 to 12, that's the number that I pasted on that yellow area that you see. Any of the pinks dialing in, 9 to 15. So that's that look, the high end, the low end, and what's forecast here is the latest that I've put out. I think we have a solid bet at 4 inches. I think that Fargo has a decent shot at seeing 6 inches, maybe 7 inches of heavy wet snow. Grand Forks, I still have you in an area. This is an average of several models. I chose this because I put a 3 to 9 in here. What does that mean? I really think anybody in this pink area will see 3 inches of heavy wet snow on up to 9 inches of snow. Isolated places of seeing a foot, chance of a foot, not out of the question, but it's just a small chance. So a small area in here could see a foot of snow. Many of us will absolutely see 3 inches of snow, and I do think that Fargo stands a very, very good chance to be closer to that 5 to 7 category that you see right here, with a quick ramp down once you get outside of Bismarck. Newer models are coming in. This was my early stab at it earlier today. So that, I hope, answers your question, Braden. Thank you for watching, and thank you for the question. Wendy says, hopefully the rain on the east side, on the east coast, help the wildfires in North and South Carolina. That would be very nice. Sometimes this stuff in the spring season with the dry vegetation can really be a problem out there. So we do have some requests here from No Snow, and I understand those sentiments very loud and very clear. Hutch's forecast then looks like this. Tonight, 25 degrees in Fargo. Snow developing in the central part of the Dakotas up in toward Bismarck. This will be moving to the north and east throughout the day. This is the first wave. That first wave will get to Fargo and whatnot before the late evening hours. We will get some, and it could be briefly heavy at times. That will loft its way up toward the north and toward the east as we go through. The main event then will come up from the same direction, and that will get firing up along the state border, I should say. And our wind will be easterly. So if you have livestock like these folks right here do, thank you so very much for sharing all of your photos and uploading them. I thought I would share this one with you. Oh, I thought I did approve that earlier. Here it is. Look at this Kenzel shot, okay? It's calving season, and this is one of those times a year where we really stand to have a lot at risk for our producers out there. So, Bubba, thank you for sharing your photo. If you have livestock and if you want to do something to protect them, the winds from this storm could be up to 30 to 40 miles per hour with bands of heavy snow. It could accumulate in some spots over a foot. There could be some drifting, although I know I've heard tell that snow doesn't like to drift when it's heavy and wet, and that can be very true. But after a certain point, once we get to say 4 inches, 6 inches and more, it starts getting cold enough for there to be that horizontal snow and some drifting to go on. So the wind will be easterly, southeasterly, and northeasterly through the majority of the snow that's building up. After the snow exits, the wind will become more northerly, but the snowfall will go away. So if that helps you, I hope that helps you. Brad, thank you for watching. I hope that all of you producers out there, it's a little bit early, says Bubba, for the calving season, but indeed it is calving season. So whether you have foals on the ground and any livestock at all, I hope the forecast here keeps those things in mind for you. All right. Now, as we take a look at that forecast for tomorrow afternoon, that main band gets going. If you are in, I think between 6 and 10 p.m., you want to be where you're going to be in the Southern Valley. It starts out here at 6 with that next band of very heavy snow, and by 10 o'clock, it's moving in toward Fargo, and it will possibly be pushing as far north as Grand Forks. Overnight, late evening, and overnight will be the worst of the conditions. Very nasty wind all the way into daybreak. And by daybreak, that snow system will look a little bit more like this. Let me see if I loaded that up. Let me go here. I'm just going to go ahead and swap this out. So as we take a look, you're looking at the forecast for 4 p.m. on Tuesday. So in the afternoon, we could be getting rain mixed with some snow here in Fargo, all rain, and the low moving across to the east. Bands of heavy snow pushing up. This is the main event. Watch what happens here as we go in time just a little bit later. Let me see if I can read these. I'm squinting here because my computer's showing me a small graphic. This is the morning of Wednesday at 7 a.m. Joe Franco, what kind of snow? Wet, sloppy? Yep, it's going to be wet, heavy. Sometimes they call it heart attack snow. If you're going out to shovel this, take it easy, please. Don't try to do it all in one event out there. Thank you from Dilworth, says Terry Joe. Thanks for watching, Terry Joe. Wednesday morning will be no picnic. East winds will be rocking. Bands of heavy snow will be likely. Exactly where they set up will dictate how much snow we get and where, but many models have been pretty consistent about showing northeast South Dakota, southeast North Dakota, and Lakes Country as the main winners from this storm. The model I showed on the onset of this broadcast showed that there would be heavy snow up north. Let's see what this model shows then as we step into the evening hours of Wednesday. So Wednesday morning looks ridiculous. How about a little bit later in the day? Let's not go to the evening. Let's go to maybe 1 p.m. How about 1 p.m.? Look at this. This particular model has ridiculous winds becoming northerly. Now you're looking in here, maybe near Chamberlain Pier, these areas here, as you're crossing in towards Sioux Falls. So rain here, rain in the Twin Cities, a narrow band of ice. It will accumulate. Bands of heavy snow right on that leading edge. You may hear rumbles of thunder snow, particularly out here near Brainerd and Point South, and that's a possibility. And it does look like the heavy bands of snow reach up towards Brainerd. This storm movement will have just a slightly northerly bent to it as it moves off to the east, meaning it will carry up some significant snow potential into the North Shore. Shayna, thanks for watching. I hear you. You don't like this, and I get that. Thank you for watching. This is no April Fool's joke, and Ethan at all. No, it isn't. John, please welcome. Today is my birthday. Well, happy birthday to you, and I hope you're enjoying it. 36. Congratulations, John. Have a great day. Sean, good to see you. Thanks so much. How does Wednesday look? You're looking at it. Not good. If you are traveling south, you're going to run into a band of heavy snow, and Fargo will be no picnic either. These isobars here, take a look at this. This is midday on Wednesday. The chance for blizzard-like conditions is real. And if there is a chance, it could very well be through parts of eastern and northeastern South Dakota, west central Minnesota, where the isobars are closest together. That's strong enough wind. If these winds are expected to last more than 3 hours, and the snow is expected to be heavy for 3 hours and reduce visibility, then we would have what's determined to be a blizzard on our hands. I do believe we will see whiteout conditions in some of these areas. So now let's take a look at Hutch's favorite model here real quickly. This is the European model. And what I'm going to do is zoom it in right into our kitchen here so we can see our area specifically in the northern plains. As we put this puppy into motion, making sure see if I got another question here. I'm trying to keep everything up to date here. Okay, so as we go through, the European model says central Dakotas, first thing in the morning on Tuesday, begin to see some precipitation. Mixed precipitation in the warm sector of the storm, but the snow could be reaching out to the east. As we go toward the evening hours, this is dinner time, 7 o'clock at night, you're seeing a band of heavier snow setting up. Be where you want to be by 7 to 11. Okay, somewhere between 6 and 10 p.m. Look at this snow moving north. It looks like it's falling apart, but here comes the low pressure system moving the north and east. That's going to reinvigorate this system as we go through the overnight into the morning. And the morning could be bring very strong and heavy snow to the Arrowhead of Minnesota with heavy banding making its way into the valley. It does cut off. The best chance of seeing lower impacts from this storm will be west of Bismarck. The best chance of seeing higher impacts will be in the eastern third of North Dakota, eastern South Dakota, and all of northern Minnesota will have a decent shot at some significant snow. So that is a look at the forecast. Right now, you will likely hear updates to what we are expecting with regards to the watches, warnings, and advisories by the National Weather Service as we go into your day for tomorrow. So keep that in mind. And again, a look at the snowfall. This is the average snowfall. So what you're seeing here is a lot. I've showed you a ton of numbers today, but it boils down to this. Very, very good chance in the areas of pink of seeing 3 inches of snow. But in this area of pink, we're going to see many areas that reach upwards of 9 inches and a few places get in even more than that. Right now, the models look like parts of eastern North Dakota, right on the I-94 corridor, right on the I-29 corridor, have a good chance at seeing over 8 inches of snow. That would be winter storm warning criteria from my friends at the National Weather Service. And they are trying to pick out which counties need to be in warnings and which counties need to be in winter weather advisories. This is the way it looks to Hutch. Hutch, I don't like this. Shayna, I hear you. I'm not a fan either. Any dry slots? Well, let's talk about that. Let's take a look at what's going on across the nation right now, and I'll show you what causes a dry slot. A couple different things can cause a dry slot. Something stealing the moisture from us, or we get a dry chunk of air getting sucked up into the system. And those happen with almost all of these storm systems. But what can make it happen faster than anything is if this low moves out here, right here, we have no thunderstorms in the Central Plains, no storms at all. If there's a huge mass of storms down here, that can rob the moisture from the systems that come over our area, at least in part. Think of it as, something that's straining your sink and blocking the path of whatever to go down the drain. So if we don't get the moisture, the humidity in the air to make its way up from the Gulf all the way up here, it will create some areas of drier air. We also can have sinking air in the storm around an area of low pressure. There's going to be lift around the area of low pressure, and that lift is supported by things like the jet stream and things like other things like convergence of air near the surface. So wherever that convergence of air at the surface or the jet stream causing support for the system in the form of lift, wherever that is, we're going to see heavier precipitation in those narrow bands where we're getting the good lift. But next to the good lift, we can often have sinking air. So if we get a batch of sinking air over us, it looks like a dry slot, but make no mistake about it, it's just sinking air, and it's not very conducive to making snow that you need to shovel. All right, thanks so very much. I think that takes it. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. It says snow, BS for Wednesday. Very true. Yes, on Hutch's 7-day. BS stands for, because this is a family program right here on Hutch's Weather, anybody can get their weather information here. BS stands for blowing snow. So we have snow and blowing snow. 3 to 9 inches is expected for Fargo. What Hutch means there, 3 is a good bet. We could be very, very close to a 9-inch band of snow right here near Fargo. So if you're in Dilworth or Glendon, yes, it's that wide of a range, 3 to 9 inches right now. And it looks like a solid bet for the 3 to say 6 inches of snow here, but we could even see more than that in Fargo. Temperatures hovering near 30 through most of the day on Wednesday with gusts of wind to 40 miles per hour exiting in the late day. We'll have some bands of heavy snow. See where I said there by 6 to 10 p.m.? We could even have a shot of snow heavy earlier in the day. That will move up. That looks like it will dissipate. There's even more models coming in, and Hutch just can't stop sometimes looking at these puppies. So let's go ahead and take a look at one more together. Let's take a look at one more. Let me see if I can find one that's coming in here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's see. Oh, the Canadian is coming in. Do you want to see the Canadian? Yeah, it's just starting though. Let's go see what the NAM says, the North American model. The North American model is, I'll be honest, it's not my favorite when it comes to predicting these. I think the North American model with snow systems in particular, and even thunderstorms in the summer, can sometimes overblow the precipitation amounts significantly, and it usually does a very, very broad brush stroke of where the heavy band of snow is going to be. So here's our morning batch of snow moving out of the central Dakotas. It starts moving north. By the time we get to daybreak, it's close to Fargo, and it has a heavy band of snow moving through from Tuesday morning right into the midday hour, and it locks up right over that Devil's Lake Basin right into Fargo area. So for the better part of, maybe 2-3 hours, we could be getting an inch an hour there. So we could have significant snow by the time we get to midday. That band sets up shop, heads up north, and here's the main event that I've been talking about. This batch of snow here is going to be convectively driven as well. Very sharp, heavy bands of snow setting up on this. Maybe rumbles of thunder down here to the south. And here we go with that heavy band of snow swirling its way through. It's midnight now, or 1 a.m. As we go into Wednesday. And then there's this backside snow system. Did you see that little dry slot? Looks like a dry slot. Really what you're looking at there is a lack of lift more than anything. So here we go. Shazam, we're back in business. And the warm air making its way in aloft, and that's going to really bring a chance for some mixed precipitation. Thunder snow, thunder sleet for Wednesday morning. It does look like and appear to me that many of the models are locking into Wednesday morning as the main event. Going into the mid-morning, we'll have bands of very heavy snow, 1 to 2 inches or more per hour of snow. Where this sets up is going to really be some serious snowblower snowblower trouble. If we can have shovel trouble, we can have snowblower trouble. This is really going to add up fairly quickly, and the snow showers look like they just persist all the way through the midday hour. The wind starts to decrease as it becomes northerly, but this model has a snow lasting all the way into midnight on Wednesday for Fargo. This model probably has ridiculous amounts of snow for Fargo. Let's go ahead and see what it's showing. I don't even know if I want to look. Do you want me to look? I don't know. I don't want to look. I knew it. I knew it. Okay, so the North American model, just looking at this puppy, is showing 14 to 20 inches of snow in our area, Fargo. And look at this up there in Grand Forks. It just drops off like a brick right on your big toe. Not much snow. But Thief River Falls, it's having 8 inches there. This model typically overdoes it. I am showing it to show you the orientation and the fact that there's going to be a significant band of moisture through the area. All right, that looks like that's it. Burn up the snowblower belt type snow. Yep, Sean, you'll want to make sure you put some Pam or some sort of a grease spray in the chute. It's that kind of snow out there. And then just when you're done, I'm certain that there'll be a plow that comes through and makes a nice 4-foot ridge behind your car. So you have to do it again, right? That's just the way it goes. So let me see if that Canadian model's in a little further. It is. Okay, so now here's a look at the Canadian model. I like this Canadian model sometimes. It does a good job every time. Who do I sound like there? Okay, it hasn't come in very far. It's showing this morning lob of snow working its way through Fargo as we go through Tuesday evening, and then the main event getting started right here. So it's just now getting to that main event part of the storm system, and I can't show you any more than that right now. Let me see if there's any other good ones. Ooh, I like this model. Okay, let's take a look at this. All right. See what this one shows. Morning snow, Central Dakotas, lob it up towards Fargo, lob it up towards Grand Forks, falls apart, dries up a little bit. Main event starts to form, boom, here we go. It's more of a diagonal shape as opposed to a flat shape as some of the other models. And here we go. Wednesday morning, before daybreak, we're talking 3 a.m. Here comes the very strong winds. Here comes the very heavy snow. Fargo and points south, moving over into Lakes Country, and then drying up and out of here. This looks like a legit scenario here. I'd say of all the models I've seen, I like this bad boy the best. Just my gut feeling with this, I do think we could have some entrainment or sucking in of some drier air. I do think some of these narrow bands here, very skinny bands, could see snowfall rates of 2 inches or more per hour. And it looks like maybe from Richland County right into Otter Tail County, Becker County, Hubbard County. Those are some areas I'd really be concerned about. And the good news is that first thing in the morning, we could have those winds 35 to 40 miles per hour. And then after that, it starts to decrease a bit. So will it be a blizzard? This model says maybe not. Maybe not. So, Charity says perfect power outage weather. Well, you know, if we get really heavy snow and wind, lines that are up above the ground can have some problems out there, and there would be some icing with this system as well. All right, I hope that gets you covered in this live update. Jeraine, thank you for watching from NC, North Carolina, where we do have some weather making its way through right now. On the coastal area. Here we go. So this is a look just for you, my friend, as we take a look out here near Virginia Beach, and as we look out towards Raleigh, Greenville, and Jacksonville. We do have New Bern seeing some very heavy showers of rain out there. Moorhead City, not to be confused with Moorhead, Minnesota. Looks like rain mainly to the north of your area as we head into the evening. But New York, Salisbury, seeing some very heavy snow. Look at New York City here. It's a gully washer right there, a frog strangler. We have Philadelphia. That's a flash flood warning taking place there as the rain aplenty hits the East Coast. I think that's all I got for you. Thank you all. Let me see if there's any other questions at the very bottom of the page, and if not, that's what we got. Thanks for the heads up. Going to need some Hutch warm sun right afterwards. It's going to take a bit of time, and we'll see if we can warm it back up. I'll be back with an update in the morning. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson, hoping you have a wonderful evening. Thank you for watching Hutch's Weather. Thanks to all of you who have clicked the follow button on Facebook. We just crossed 61,000 today. Thanks each and every one of you. My subscribers on YouTube going up as well. Help me get to 7,000 this week. That would be wonderful. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful night.